Have you ever felt a certain kind of exhaustion? It's a quiet one. It's practiced. And it carries the weight of years spent trying to be enough for the wrong people. You know how it goes. You start a new connection, a friendship, a relationship hoping this time will be different. And for a moment, it is. You feel seen, appreciated, wanted. But then the shift happens. Their needs start expanding while your needs begin shrinking. You adjust, you over-adapt. You make yourself more convenient, more polite, more available, more understanding. Because somewhere deep down, your nervous system learned a long time ago that love is something you earn by disappearing just a little bit. Here's the paradox that quietly rules your life. The very traits that once protected you, your empathy, your flexibility, your emotional intelligence, are the same traits that now draw you toward people who exploit them. You attract people who take because you are trained to give without limits. You attract people who can't meet you because you were taught never to take up too much emotional space. And the hardest part? You think it's your fault. You think you're choosing wrong, that you're broken, or that you're cursed with terrible taste. But here's the truth. You're not broken. You are patterned. Your early attachments carved a blueprint, not for what you deserve, but for what feels familiar. And unfortunately, familiarity is a powerful magnet. You keep attracting the wrong people, not because you're flawed, but because your nervous system is still trying to resolve a story it never got closure on. Let's name what's actually happening. There's a psychological phenomenon called repetition compulsion. This is the unconscious drive to recreate unresolved childhood dynamics in adulthood, hoping for a different outcome. Your heart keeps revisiting the same pattern because it is trying to finish an emotional sentence that was never completed. Then there's attachment conditioning. Your earliest relationships become the template for how you love. If your caregiver's love was inconsistent or demanding, your nervous system will seek out relationships that match that rhythm, not because you want pain, but because that pain is familiar, and familiarity can feel safer than the unknown. There's also a trauma response called fawning, where you over-accommodate others to prevent emotional harm. If you learned that harmony depended on your compliance, you might feel compelled to shape-shift to keep the peace. These forces create a psychological storm that can make dysfunction feel like destiny. So how does this show up in your adult life? You might find yourself attracted to emotionally unavailable people because their distance feels familiar. You might feel responsible for other people's emotions, constantly adjusting your tone and anticipating their reactions. You might give far more than you receive, and then blame yourself for the imbalance. Maybe you struggle to trust consistency, because if someone is genuinely kind and reliable, something in you tenses up, waiting for the other shoe to drop. You might even mistake chaos for chemistry, because your nervous system has been conditioned to see intensity as connection. And you probably feel guilty for having needs, choosing silence over conflict, even when silence costs you more. All of these are coping strategies, not personality traits. They are adaptive responses you built to protect yourself. They worked. They helped you navigate environments where love required labor. But now, in adulthood, they limit you. They distort your sense of worth. They make you believe that people leaving is evidence of your inadequacy, rather than proof of their incapacity. The real work, the hardest work, is unlearning the belief that love is something you earn by self-sacrifice. Before healing can happen, you have to have a moment of revelation, a moment where you say, "This isn't who I am. This is who I became to survive." Once you can witness your own pain without gaslighting yourself, the pattern becomes visible. And once it's visible, it becomes breakable. So, how do you stop attracting the wrong people? You begin by returning to yourself. First, you reverence your inner child in a practical sense. You learn to give yourself the emotional safety you were never shown. You pause before overgiving and ask yourself, who am I trying to protect right now? Next, you work on softening your nervous system. Safe love feels uncomfortable at first, so you practice tolerating it. You let your body slowly learn that consistency is not a threat. You also do shadow work, examining the parts of you you've been taught to hide, your needs, your anger, your disappointment. These aren't flaws, they're signals. You start setting boundaries without apology. You stop shrinking to fit. You stop translating yourself for people who refuse to understand. You let no become a form of self-respect instead of a source of shame. And finally, you choose softness over survival mode. You remember that you are not living in the same emotional environment you survived. You can choose people who meet you, who see you, who stay. Healing is not about fixing yourself. It's about reclaiming yourself. The philosopher Alain de Botton once said, "We accept the love we think we deserve because it's the love we retaught to expect." But expectations can change. Stories can be rewritten. Patterns can be undone. And you, with all your depth, your empathy, your resilience, you deserve a kind of love that doesn't require your disappearance. So let this be your reminder. You are not attracting the wrong people because you're rebroken. You are attracting them because you are finally ready to understand the wound that shaped you and ready to choose differently. If this resonated with you, share it with someone who needs the same reminder. And if you want more psychological deep dives like this, consider subscribing, not to fix yourself, but to find your way back to wholeness.